Hey all, Adam, the Exacto Guru here. Today I'm going to talk about something that's been going on in the States lately. I'm referring to the states which have recently repealed their abortion rights. As most of my viewers are aware, I've had some personal experience with this topic, so I'll warn you now. I may get heated, and there may be excessive profanity. I figured that most people could at least understand a few basic human principles about it. However, I was wrong. Apparently some people need this broken down into terms a 5-year-old can fucking understand. So here we go. Imagine you've had something happen to you. Imagine it's the most demoralizing thing that ever could happen to you. Now imagine the idea of that event leaving you with more than just scars. It leaves you with an organism inside you. An organism that changes everything about your life over the weeks and months that follow. You can't enjoy life in the same way anymore because of both the event and the organism inside your body. As time goes on, even your body changes in appearance, and you now have a daily reminder of that event. Now imagine hoping for something with all your heart. Something you would love more than anything in the world. Imagine that something is very close to fruition. Then some person in a white coat looks at you and says, "I'm sorry, this thing is broken. You can live with it being defective, but not only will it be a little wobbly, but one day you'll be gone and it'll be left to wobble until it breaks." You look at the white coat person and the others around you, and you ask, "But surely you'll keep setting my wobbly bit to right, won't you?" And frankly, they tell you, "I'm sorry, but there are already so many wobbles and squeaks in the world. Your wobbly bit will largely be on their own." Examine either of those scenarios and understand that they are the vast majority of the abortions performed today. If you can't put yourself in the shoes of the person described in those situations, you should probably keep your fucking mouth shut on the topic. Instead, what we see is a group of primarily white, cisgendered males who are yelling about how their rights are being infringed upon. They think that your wife, sister, daughter, niece, or aunt having access to a healthy and safe abortion is getting in the way of their right to practice their fucking religion. These people will advocate that, in place of abortion, you should be forced to carry that child to term and give it up for adoption. The very idea of giving up a child for adoption should raise the hair on the back of your neck. The adoption system in North America is so wildly overcrowded that we would have to terminate the system to see the last child come of age as a government ward. There simply are not enough adoptive families to care for the children currently in the system. This results in children living in the foster system until they reach the age of majority, at which point the government usually cuts them a check and kicks them out into the fucking world to fend for themselves. That is a whole other issue in and of itself, where kids are raised by families who simply see them as a paycheck. In regards to the new kids entering the system because of anti-abortion laws, these kids will now look at themselves as unwanted and undesirable, feelings no living being should have to experience, feelings which, unchecked, will fester and crush these children's abilities to love themselves. This leads to these children growing into adults with poor coping mechanisms, which become yet more issues. The lack of accessible, legal, and safe abortion throughout the last 100 years has actually caused all of these problems within the adoption system, and then some. We haven't even looked at the parent who has been forced to carry this child. Think of all the stories you've heard of so-and-so being sent to their relatives to have their child, who come back as a single person with no child. This usually happened when a woman was in her early teens, in order for the rest of the immediate family to save face. That woman then returns home to a town that knows she left under strange circumstances, to people who won't come out and simply ask them about the fucking situation. This person is then exposed to sidelong glances and people looking down their noses at her, all while she is wondering what will and has become of the child she gave up, while potentially feeling the hell of postpartum depression. These are all questions that they likely will never have answers for. Take that in, and remember that women are much more likely to attempt suicide than men. These are things that our society has been working so hard to improve upon. Now these states are going to set us back fucking decades. Alabama's near total ban on abortion isn't the only thing going against us here. 4 other states have passed heartbeat bills. Mississippi, Ohio, Kentucky, and Georgia have all passed bills that ban on abortion once a heartbeat is detected. This happens roughly 6 weeks into pregnancy. That's literally 1 missed period. Most women have missed 1 period from time to time in their lives without ever having been pregnant. These governments have effectively banned abortion for the women constituents of their states. The worst part of the whole thing is that there is absolutely no scientific grounds for a pro-life stance. I do recognize that these people think their concern is in the right place for the infant that they perceive as being violated without having a voice. However, there's not one shred of medical evidence that supports this view. The fetus is not even recognizable as a human until at least 9 weeks. And the truth is, that fetus has a parasitic relationship with its mother until the moment the cord is cut. The pro-life movement would rather worry about the rights of a parasite, which we can't even truly define as a human until it draws breath, while allowing actual growing children to go without and suffer. I'll say it one more time for the cheap seats. If you can't put yourself in another person's shoes, keep your fucking mouth shut. If you can't do that, don't vote in favor of laws that don't affect you. Don't protest things in places which you don't have the patience to fully analyze both sides of. Well, those are my thoughts on that. I don't ask for this often, but if you know someone who could benefit from hearing this, please share it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. For now, I'm the Exacto Guru, reminding you to be excellent to each other and asking you to please walk a mile in someone else's shoes today.